Hi everyone, I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas and 2026 is being kind to you so far. In this report, we'll check the mountain lake levels and see if Lake Eucumbene has started the year rising or falling. I'll let you know where the fish were biting. Peter started his 2026 high country photography journey with an amazing capture to share with us. In this month's local spotlight, I take a look at the history behind the Avenue of Flags in Cooma. I've had a lot of pics and a few videos posted from lake visitors and locals this month, and I'll share some of them with you. There's Pick of the Month and this month's fishing meme. It's great to be back doing these reports for 2026, and even though I'll be doing them monthly for a while, I hope you'll still enjoy watching and supporting them. And don't forget, the reports can only be as good as the content I receive. So if you have anything Eucumbene region related, no matter how old, please post it on the Lake Eucumbene Facebook group or to the email on screen, and you might see your content in a future report. Thank you. January was very dry across the mountains, with rainfall and inflows well below average. Despite this, lake levels generally remained steady over January, with the exception of Lake Jindabyne, which fell more than 4% over the month. Lake Eucumbene ended January 0.5% lower than it started it, and Tantangra Dam 0.1%. Some lovely summer weather during January saw lots of people out and about trying to land a fish using a variety of methods and techniques. Fly fishing was popular, with the summer insect population peaking. Trollers got amongst the fish by hitting the deeper, cooler water, with Tassie Devils proving very productive. Bait anglers did well on mud-eyes, lures, and power bait. Mark and mates fished for 2 days just before New Year and caught 11 fish. All were browns, ranging from 32 to 65 centimetres, and all were released to swim another day. The fish were all caught trolling using 2 colours of lead. Damien spent some time at the lake recently and fished Jens Bay and Angler's Reach. Look at that amazing sunset at Jens Bay. Damien adding the fishing was tough, but he wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Damien landed this big brown at Angler's Reach on a spider mud-eye at 9 p.m. Thanks for sharing, Damien. James Bale posted this pic of his mate Chris, who caught this big brown at Copperbowl Bay on the 3rd of January. Chris trolling a Tassie Devil number 63, Pretty Fish. James added that both him and Chris are die-hard fans of these reports and this YouTube channel. Thanks for your kind words and support, boys. Tight lines. Ray and his wife Bronwyn spent 3 great days relaxing at Braemar Bay recently, enjoying some lovely weather and beautiful sunsets. Ray landing a nice brown at Jock's Cove using a black woolly worm fly. When Ray cleaned it, the fish had obviously been feeding heavily on small grasshoppers. Thanks for sharing your trip with us, Ray, and I hope you and Bronwyn get back for another fish soon. Brad was out on the water for an early morning troll on January 9. Brad trolling for a couple of hours around Old Adaminaby in some beautiful weather. Unfortunately, the wind got up around 10 a.m. and cut Brad's fishing short, but not before Brad caught this lovely brown on a Tassie Devil. Great catch, Brad. Tom and family spent 8 days at the Anglers Reach Lakeside Village over the Christmas period. The group catching fish and enjoying the peace and quiet of Eucumbene life. Tom wanted to give a special mention to Graham, Rosie, and Sal at the Anglers Reach Lakeside Village for their hospitality, knowledge, and going above and beyond to make Tom and family's stay memorable. Peter was up at Braemar Bay just before Christmas and was there to see part of the New South Wales fisheries release of approximately 20,000 rainbow trout fingerlings into Lake Eucumbene. Pete adding there will be lots of happy anglers in about a year's time. Well, let's hope a big percentage survive attacks from birds, yabbies, mud-eyes, you'll see what I mean later in the report, as well as bigger fish. Well done to fisheries and all involved. Shane fished into the evening on January 15 and said the air was thick with insects, to the point he'd breathe them in if he had the nightlight too close. It was also pitch black. Despite the abundance of insects, Shane landed this big brown, which was almost his personal best, on a Tassie flatlining. Shane said it made his night. Great catch, Shane. Adrian was up at the lake recently, and he must have caught the unluckiest trout in Eucumbene that day, somehow hooking this fat 40cm brown in the tail. Adrian adding the wind was atrocious, but as he said, if you're not fishing, you're not catching. Thanks for sharing your memorable catch with us, mate. Mark and his wife had a great day out on the water in late December, catching some great fish on the troll. They kept 6 for meals and let the biggest one go to swim another day. Thanks for sharing, Mark, and it's good to see some rainbows amongst your catches. Lake regular and friend Nate was out and about on the water between Christmas and New Year, and, as always, he got amongst the fish. Nate said all fish were caught down rigging at 45 feet. You can see some of the lures Nate used. Nate also posted this video to show just how hard some of the fish fought. Thanks for sharing some of your day with us, mate. Lake Eucumbene regular Stuart and his young fellow Corey spent some time up at the lake in mid-January and had a great time. Corey catching the brown on the right of the screen on a Wayne Dixon mud-eye pattern. Fish in a feed of bunny? You can't go wrong, Stuart. Well, we all know you can catch fish using barty grubs, but I've often wondered if you can catch them using those curl grubs you sometimes see in the garden. Well, Elizabeth proved you can, catching this nice brown on one just before Christmas. Thanks for sharing with us. Dylan spent Christmas Eve fishing down at Frying Pan and said a Dr. Minnow 50S caught this big brown's attention. Thanks for sharing with us, Dylan. My good mate Reno was back at beautiful Rushy Bay during the month, and, as usual, it didn't take him long to find the fish. Reno said fishing was quiet, but he landed a couple of fish and kept one for the table. Reno saw a few fish leap out of the water chasing dragonflies. Reno also checked the water temperature, saying it was 22.7 degrees in the shallows and down to 20 degrees off the deeper points. Thanks for such a great report, Reno. My good mate John spent some time at Eucumbene over the Australia Day long weekend. Just take a look at that glorious weather. John landed 5 fish on the troll, including a very lively rainbow. Thanks for sharing, John. Adrian and his wife Crystal spent Australia Day down by the water and both left with a fish each. Adrian landing a fat brown on a worm and Crystal a lively rainbow on chartreuse power bait. It's great to have Jim back for 2026. Jim said as the weather and water temperatures rise during the summer months, the bigger trout will head for the comfort of deeper water below the thermocline. Jim often uses these large flies tied on a size 6 streamer hook. Jim suggests fishing these with a sinking line from a slowly drifting boat, and added a quality sounder can be a big help here for ascertaining depth and structure. Thanks for another great post and information, Jim. Wishing you a very happy new year, mate. Robert posted these pics of some of his favourite flies. They are, from left to right, black mud-eye, after hours mud-eye, and mud-eye grizzly legs. Tony has been busy making lures over the Christmas break. He has a batch of uncharted 60mm Stucky lures available for sale. If you're interested, please PM Tony on Facebook Messenger or via the Lake Eucumbene Facebook group. Pete's first offering for 2026 is a beauty. Summertime in the mountains is known for its changeable weather and many thunderstorms. Thunderstorms are common in the summer months as large cumulus clouds develop on many afternoons and regularly turn into massive cumulonimbus clouds. It's a spectacular sight, and Pete was there to capture this storm on the 4th of January. This amazing photo was taken from the top of the Tumut Pond Trail off King's Cross Road. King's Cross Road is the dirt road between Cabramatta and Selwyn Snow Resort. It's a little hard to see in this pic, but to the right is Talbingo Dam. Pete added that while this storm did roll a little bit closer to him, it didn't impact him except to take this great photo. Thanks for sharing with us, Pete, and I'm looking forward to seeing lots more from you in 2026. In this month's local spotlight, I take a look at the historical Avenue of Flags in Cooma. The original Avenue of Flags, which runs along Centennial Park, was erected in 1959 on the 10th anniversary of the Snowy Mountains scheme. It represents the homelands of the workers involved in the construction of the scheme. It comprises flags from 28 nations which existed at the time, representing the first 70,000 people from overseas who came to work on the scheme between 1947 and 1952. Construction of the Snowy scheme officially began on the 17th of October 1949 and took 25 years to complete. It was officially completed on the 21st of October 1972. The Snowy Mountains Hydroelectric Scheme is by far the largest engineering project ever undertaken in Australia. It's also one of the largest and most complex hydroelectric schemes in the world. The scheme's construction is seen by many as a defining point in Australia's history and an important symbol of Australia's identity as an independent, multicultural, and resourceful country. The Snowy Scheme supplies vital water to the farming industries of inland New South Wales and Victoria. The scheme's power stations also produce up to 10% of the electricity needs of New South Wales. The original 28 flags erected back in 1959 represented workers from many countries, including Australia, Canada, Finland, Greece, Italy, Lebanon, Malta, Norway, Pakistan, South Africa, Sweden, United Kingdom, and the USA. An additional section of flags was added to the display in 1999 to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Snowy Scheme. This allowed more countries to be represented, particularly those that formed from the breakups of former nations such as Yugoslavia and Czechoslovakia. This brings the total number of distinct flags displayed to 40. If you haven't seen the Avenue of Flags, I'd highly recommend a stop next time you're travelling through Cooma. My good mates Tiny and Julie Egan own and operate Serenity Cabin at Anglers Reach. It's the ideal base for fishing and exploring the wonderful snowy mountains. The cabin is just 400 metres from the water's edge. It has 2 bedrooms with a double bed in each. Both rooms have an ensuite with full linen and towels. Serenity Cabin has a great kitchen, Wi-Fi, satellite TV, a barbecue, fire pit, and even parking for your boat. The minimum stay is 2 nights, and Tiny is offering a free barbecue pack for 3 nights or more. So if you're looking for an escape from the rat race, send Tiny a private message via Facebook Messenger or look for his Serenity Cabin posts on the Lake Eucumbene Facebook group. Here's an awesome thank you note Tiny and Julie received on the 8th of January from Dean and Tracy, who stayed a few nights at Serenity Cabin. They said that although they didn't catch a fish this trip, they had a wonderful relaxing stay and Serenity Cabin had all the creature comforts. Nice work, Tiny and Julie. You should be really proud. We saw some of the great fish catches earlier. In this section of the report, we'll take a look at some of the wonderful pics and videos of Lake Eucumbene and region taken by locals and visitors alike. Most will be from this month, but we also have some nostalgic and more historical ones. And I'll let you know how to get your photos and videos to me later in the report, and you might see yours in the future. I'd love to see them, old or new. Just before we take a look at the pics and videos, I received some sad news recently with the passing of Anglers Reach regular Fritz on the 28th of November 2025. We saw Fritz in one of these reports last year when he turned 91 on the 16th of July 2025. Fritz had a van at Anglers Reach for many, many years and loved getting into the mountains whenever he could. Fritz's daughter Lee said Fritz loved watching these video reports right up until his last days, and the lake and Anglers Reach were never far from his thoughts, nor theirs. Lee added tight lines, Dad. We will all miss you. To Lee, Jason and sister-in-law Karen, I'm so sorry for your loss and send you my deepest condolences. May Fritz forever rest in peace. I did a spotlight of Adam and Eve's big trout in one of these videos last year. Jeff had a look back through his archives and found these great nostalgic photos. Jeff saying the pic on the left shows his mate Don and the big trout when they were both starting to show signs of wear and tear. Unfortunately, Jeff doesn't remember the year. The other couple of pics showed Don and artist Andy working on the frame. A great look back in time, Jeff. Thanks for sharing with us. Gavin took this short video of a Jens Bay local, a healthy echidna. Chris added to Gavin's post saying he'd seen quite a few echidnas recently while driving to and from Buckandera. Gavin also posted this pic of a storm rolling in on January 5. Thanks for sharing with us, Gavin. Greg posted this classic Eucumbene scene in early January. The photo was actually taken back in December 2015 on a magical evening with Greg's fishing mate, Brian. Great photo, Greg, and thanks for sharing. Peter spent some time at Anglers Reach at the start of January and landed this big brown on a nightcrawler worm from the bank. Great catch, Peter. Peter also asked the Lake Eucumbene Facebook group how far the walk was from Providence Portal to the edge of the lake. In response to Peter's question, Robert kindly added this photo showing where the water was on the day Peter asked. Thanks, Robert. And for the record, Lake Eucumbene was sitting at 44.3% on this day, the 2nd of January 2026. Yari was stuck in Sydney for the summer, but said he couldn't wait to get back to Lake Eucumbene for a fish with the boys. It looks like you had a great time last trip, Yari, and I hope you get back to the lake soon, mate.
Fucking error, mate.
You sure?
Yeah, no.
Whose spot? What spot did you get?
In my spot, mate. Where's yours? One of no fish.
Up the road. It's farm truck and troutless at my spot.
Yeah, well.
You get that shit on the big jobs.
Peter took this pic back on the 29th of December. It shows the lovely weather on this day at Braemar Bay. Thanks for sharing, Peter. We saw many wonderful nostalgic photos from John in 2025. John has started 2026 with a great photo of the Tumut River above Tumut Ponds. John adding the river was really low. Thanks for sharing, John, and please keep the photos coming this year. We love seeing them. There's one thing Tiny loves even more than fishing, and that's spending time with his grandkids. Tiny and Julie seeing the boys over the Christmas break. Here they are exploring the banks near Tiny's place at Angler's Reach. Dustin is wearing the Akubra and Dallas is in the cap. Whenever they visit Tiny and Julie, they leave with lifelong memories. Here are the boys roasting some marshmallows.
How did Dallas get a big one?
I don't know. I wouldn't cook them anymore, mate. Yours are cooked. They're catching on fire, Dustin.
And here are the boys enjoying a dip with Tiny after a hot summer's day in the mountains. It's wonderful to see them having so much fun, Tiny. Anthony posted a reel of a mud-eye turning the tables and feeding on a baby trout. It's an amazing video, Anthony. Thanks for sharing it with us. Sydney posted this lovely scene during the month with the caption, "Frying pan at its finest." Can't argue with that, Sydney. Sydney also posted this short video. Have a listen to the insects. Thanks for sharing with us, Sydney. Jet posted this picture took on New Year's Eve in 2019 from Buckanderra during the horrific bushfires that swept through the mountains. The fires destroyed many buildings across the mountains, including most at Cabramatta, the remaining few at Kyandra, and totally wiped out Selwyn Ski Resort. It was a horrible time. Jet saying she remembered this day well. Her and hubby Ricky had taken their son to the lake for the first time. Along with others at Buckanderra, they were evacuated in case the fires hit. Jet remembering burnt leaves falling from the sky and the raindrops were dirty. Here's a video Jet took on that faithful day. Adam posted this pic of his dad, Robert, taken back in the 1990s. Given the passing of time, Robert wasn't sure exactly where the photo was taken, but said he regularly travelled between Eucumbene and Jindabyne. Adam himself adding that he was excited about his upcoming trip to Eucumbene and hopes to catch a few himself. Well, I hope you did, Adam. Jamie spent some time up at Angler's Reach over January and captured this beautiful sunset. It's a great photo, Jamie, and thanks for sharing it with us. Lake Eucumbene regular Ricky spent some of his Christmas break up at his favourite spot, Buckanderra, and took these lovely photos. And as always, Ricky took his trusty drone with him and captured some great video of this wonderful part of Lake Eucumbene. Thanks for sharing, Ricky, and I hope you get back to the lake really soon. Georgie took this beautiful scene overlooking Lake Eucumbene from Old Accommodation in early January. You can see a tree in the middle of the pic. Back in 1979, we had just arrived at Old Accommodation, and my dad and I walked down the hill, and he cast straight towards that tree with a worm. He landed a 3-pound brown trout within a couple of minutes. He thought it was a sign. He didn't catch another fish all week. Thanks for sharing with us, Georgie. I've known Daniela for many years, and I know just how much she loves the mountains and getting back to her favourite place, Lake Eucumbene. Daniela captured the beauty of a summer sunrise from Old Accommodation. Beautiful photos as always, Daniela, and thanks for sharing with us. Sally also spent some time at Old Accommodation in early January, enjoying the peace and quiet. Sally taking these pics showing the smoke rolling across the lake from the fires down in Victoria. Sally also captured this beautiful sunset from the water's edge at Old Accommodation. Thanks for sharing, Sally. Kylie enjoyed some lovely summer weather trolling out on the water in early January. Kylie looking very relaxed in this pic, but she mentioned the nice weather only lasted about 90 minutes before the wind picked up and made it unbelievably wild. You've got to love the weather changes at Eucumbene. Thanks for sharing with us, Kylie. Also experiencing just how quickly the weather can change at Lake Eucumbene was Kath, who was out and about on the lake in mid-January. Kath adding just 20 minutes after this pic of a glassy surface was taken, the wind got up and it whipped the waves into a frenzy, Kathy having to retreat to the shoreline. Always take care out on the water, no matter how calm it seems. Hope to see you back at the lake really soon, Kath. Bob was out on the water on January the 8th and took this pic of the smoky skies caused by the bushfires down in Victoria. Thanks for the pic, Bob. James was up at Frying Pan during the first weekend of 2026 and captured a pic of this storm rolling by just north of his fishing spot. Thanks for sharing, James. Back on the 14th of September 2025, the mountains were abuzz with reports flooding in that the elusive Eucumbene Yeti was running through Angler's Reach. These are allegedly his footprints. Well, it looks like he may have made another visit to Angler's Reach in January 2026. This time, some video footage has emerged. He does look a bit familiar. Could it be? Surely not. Anyway, if you spot him on your travels around the lake, please let me know. Dean was up at the lake during January and captured the beauty of first light at Old Accommodation. Dean also took a stunning video of the sunrise while he was there. Just look and hear how peaceful it was. Thanks for sharing, Dean. Sue stayed at the Braemar Bay Holiday Park in late January and posted this great pic with the caption, "Bit of magic during tonight's sunset." Sure looked like it, Sue, and thanks for sharing with us. Ricky and his wife Corazon had a great time on their recent trip to Lake Eucumbene, but the highlight was being there to see the Aurora Australis above the lake at Buckenderra. What a great experience, guys, and thanks for sharing with us. Antle spent some time at Providence Portal over the Australia Day long weekend. He posted this video to show us how much water is currently at the portal. Thanks for sharing, Antle. Michael was on the water at Buckenderra over the Australia Day long weekend. Michael came across what I'm sure is the first ever slip and slide at Lake Eucumbene. What a fun way to cool off, as Buckenderra topped 34 degrees on January 25. Take a look at Michael's video.
Give it on, mate.
Sydney captured this beautiful Lake Eucumbene sunset on Australia Day evening. It's glorious, Sydney. Sydney also posted a pic of this great-looking Batten Cavell boat near Frying Pan. Thanks for sharing with us, Sydney. Brian found a fantastic reel on the web recently and wanted to share it with us. The reel from the Green River Fly Fisher Group. It shows a brown trout breaking the surface of the water to feed on some resting insects. Take a look at this. The last word this month goes to Tiny, who spent the 31st of January down at the markers at Angler's Reach. Here's Tiny.
So the westerly change has just ripped through down the markers here, and it's dropped it from 32.3 down to 24.6. February, got a few dates available in Serenity, if you're keen. Water temperature hasn't really dropped here that much. Yesterday on the edge it was down in Illawong was 22.6. Down here at the markers today it's 20 degrees, but that's probably the westerly. But yeah, I can sort of, let's see if I can switch this around. So it's not too bad. There's my other favourite tree. Anyway, trout butts. Better than being at work.
For pick of the month, I've chosen this amazing capture by my good friend Daniela. As we saw earlier, Daniela was up at Old Accommodation in early January during a run of unseasonably hot weather. Daniela decided to cool off with a dip in Lake Eucumbene at 6:30 on the 9th of January. Daniela added the water temperature was just perfect. It's a fantastic photo, Daniela, and well deserves Pick of the Month crown for January. Thanks for sharing with us. As we've just seen, there have been some wonderful pics and videos shared this month. We all love seeing them, and I'm always looking for more to share, so if you've been to Lake Eucumbene or region, please post your pics or videos to the Lake Eucumbene Facebook group. And if you don't have Facebook, you can email them directly to me at gunweather@optusnet.com.au. Keep sending them in, and you might see yours in a future report. Please remember to send me a little bit of information about the pickle video so I can let others know. And also, the pics don't have to be fishing related or even recent. Historical or nostalgic photos and videos are always welcome and enjoyed by all. Okay, I take full responsibility for the quality of the first fishing meme of the year. I can't catch anything. I feel like such a fail lure. If you think you can find a better one, which wouldn't be hard, please post it to the Lake Eucumbene Facebook group and you might see it here in a future report. Well, that's the report for January and the first report for 2026. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, I'm happy to take on any feedback or suggestions. And don't forget, if you're looking for more information on Lake Eucumbene, check out the social media channels. There's the website, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And please don't forget to like and subscribe, and you'll be notified whenever I put new content up. Have a great month, everyone. Stay safe, tight lines, and bye for now.